Once we've created our drawing in model space and we've dropped all of our blocks into it and we've got our outside walls built and we've dimensioned it and everything's looking correct, everything's all on its own separate layer, it's time to start thinking about laying out our drawing prior to creating a plot. Now, a plot may well be a plotter. You see them with the rolls of paper that go through them. It could also be just an A3 printout as well. There are a lot of A3 printers around and sometimes even A2 printers as well. So it's quite possible that wherever you're working, you may well be producing just a small scale drawing to begin with. If you're working with a larger drawing and you don't have a plotter available, there are lots of printers that you can use. I use my local printers. I just sort of take drawings down on a memory stick and they plot them out for me if it's larger than sort of A2. And that's what we need to do right now, is we need to set that up because it's not really set up. I've got from my model space down here these two tabs which are layout 1 and layout 2. Now layout 1 has been laid out all nice and neatly and that's all fine and well and good. That's what I'm looking for. However, layout 2 isn't laid out so well. You can see that the viewport that we've got here that's sort of showing where our drawing is, and in fact the actual drawing template is much smaller than the piece of paper that it's been decided to draw it on, and really that's just not going to do. Now there's two things that I could do. I could, if I needed to, expand these objects up so they fitted this page, but that's really not what I'm into at the moment. What I'm looking to do is to fit this onto a decent sized piece of paper, and that piece of paper is probably going to be about an A4 size. So what I need to do is I need to go to my page manager and I need to manage the size of this page. So I'm going to do that by right clicking on layout 2 and opening up the page setup manager. Now you can see here that we've got layout 2 available to us here, and that's the one that's highlighted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify that. And there's a couple of things that we'll notice straight away from this dialog box when it comes up. The first one is that there is no printer or plotter defined for this piece of paper. So I'm going to go through and I could pick any one of these plotters which are fairly standard. If you've got a plotter already attached to your system, chances are that your network admin has already got that one listed in here for you. For me, I'll just choose Adobe PDF because it's a nice simple one. And you'll notice here we now got our paper size, which is A2. And when you look at the size, I can't quite go back to it, but it was kind of about an A2 size when you look at it and you think, yeah, that's about right. So I really don't want a piece of paper quite that big. What I'm looking for is maybe a size A4. Okay, so that's good. So now I've set my size to be an A4 sheet of paper. My plot scale will need to be 1:1, so that 1mm equals 1 unit within the file. And this is where I can then start to sort of look at what kind of style I want to print out with. Now, pretty much I would say 9 times out of 10, you're going to go with a monochrome. Okay, otherwise any colours that you've put in your layer, so say you've got a nice blue and a nice orange layer, they're going to come out on your drawing, and that's not going to look so good. Doesn't look very professional. So that's okay, so we'll set that to monochrome. We've also got a quality, so if there's a chance that this might get blown up by somebody, what you can always do is just change this to presentation, or you can even go for a maximum quality. And you can see here we've got something called dots per inch. And obviously the higher that number, then the finer the resolution. I can promise you in actual fact that normal resolution at 300 dpi is absolutely fine. And we can decide whether we want to print this portrait or landscape. Well, I probably want to do mine landscape, so that's fine. So now I've made those changes, I'll click OK, and you can see here that if I close my drawing now, what we've got is our template, our drawing template that we've had created here. That's been imported into our A4 piece of paper, and we've got our viewports which also match that, sitting nice and neatly on my sheet of A4 paper, nicely squared up, nicely centered, and ready to plot out.